whales are the biggest animals ever on Earth. They eat tiny creatures called krill and use a sort of filter in their mouths to catch them. Some of the really big ones can eat as much as 6 tons of krill every day. In today's video we will discuss about life of blue whale. You can find blue whales in all oceans except the one near the North Pole. There are 5 types of blue whales that scientists recognize. Sadly, there used to be a lot more blue whales, but a long time ago, people hunted them a lot, and their numbers got much smaller. Today, their main problems are getting hit by ships and getting stuck in fishing gear. NOAA Fisheries and their friends are working hard to protect and help blue whales all around the world. They use cool methods to study and save these special animals. They also work with others to make rules and plans to keep fisheries healthy, prevent whales from getting tangled in things, make sure ships are safe for whales, and make the ocean quieter for them. Commercial whaling worldwide had a big impact on blue whales. Because of this, blue whales are now considered endangered according to the Endangered Species Act, and they are also protected under the Marine Mammal Protection Act. The most recent reports on blue whales provide information about different groups of them, such as those in the North Pacific and western North Atlantic Oceans. Blue whales have a lengthy, slender body with a mottled blue-gray color that takes on a light blue hue when they're underwater, giving them their name. The pattern of mottling on their skin can vary and can be used to tell individual whales apart. Among the different types of blue whales, the Antarctic ones tend to be the largest. For instance, in the North Atlantic and North Pacific, blue whales typically grow to around 90 feet in length and weigh over 100,000 pounds. However, in the Antarctic region, they can reach lengths of about 110 feet and weigh more than 330,000 pounds. It's a common trait in baleen whales for females to be larger than males. Blue whales have varying social habits. They can be seen in small groups sometimes, but more often, you'll find them on their own or in pairs. During the summer, they mainly hang out in polar waters where they feed, but as winter approaches, they embark on long journeys towards warmer equatorial waters. While they're on the move or feeding, blue whales usually swim at a leisurely pace of around 5 miles per hour. However, when they need to, they can crank up the speed to over 20 miles per hour for short bursts. These giants of the sea are also some of the noisiest animals on Earth. They produce a series of pulses, groans, and moans, and under the right conditions, these sounds can travel astonishing distances of up to 1,000 miles, possibly allowing other whales to hear them. Scientists believe they use these vocalizations to communicate and maybe even to navigate through the dark depths of the ocean using a form of sonar. Blue whales primarily dine on krill, which are tiny shrimp-like creatures, although they may occasionally snack on fish and copepods, which are tiny crustaceans. When they're on the hunt for food, blue whales practice a method called filter feeding. They swim toward large groups of krill with their mouths wide open, and then they shut their mouths while puffing up their throat pleats. Once their mouths are closed, they push out the water, trapping the krill inside with their baleen plates, which act like a filter. Blue whales are widespread in nearly all oceans, except for the Arctic. They often move between different areas based on the seasons, traveling to their favorite feeding and breeding spots. However, there's some interesting variation in their behavior. In some places, it appears that not all blue whales follow this seasonal migration pattern. This means that some individuals may decide to stick around in certain areas throughout the year. The specifics of where they go and when can vary, and we're not entirely sure about all the routes they take. What guides their movements most is where their favorite food, krill, is concentrated. In the North Atlantic Ocean, you can spot blue whales in a range that stretches from warmer subtropical waters to the chilly Greenland Sea. Sightings have been reported off the eastern coasts of Canada and the United States. On the west coast of the United States, the eastern North Pacific blue whales seem to spend their winters off the coasts of Mexico and Central America. They likely head up to the U.S. West Coast during the summer, and to a lesser extent, they can be found in the Gulf of Alaska and the central North Pacific. For blue whales with young calves, the Gulf of California, also known as the Sea of Cortez, is a common gathering spot from December through March. This area seems to be particularly important for giving birth and nursing their young. In the northern Indian Ocean, there's a group of blue whales that like to hang around. They've been spotted in various places like the Gulf of Aden, Arabian Sea, and the Bay of Bengal. We don't know much about their seasonal movements, but it's possible that they move around based on changes in the ocean caused by monsoons. In the southern hemisphere, Antarctic blue whales are usually found in the high-latitude waters south of the Antarctic convergence during the summer, close to where the ice is. When winter comes, some of them head to middle and low latitudes, although not all of them make this journey every year. Pygmy blue whales, a smaller type of blue whale, are typically found north of the Antarctic convergence and are most common around Australia, Madagascar, and New Zealand. There's another type of blue whale in the southeastern Pacific Ocean, especially in the Kilauea ecoregion, and these whales migrate to warmer, lower latitude areas, like the Galapagos Islands and the eastern tropical Pacific. Blue whales typically live for about 80 to 90 years, which is quite impressive. Scientists have a unique way of figuring out a blue whale's age. When a blue whale passes away, they examine wax-like earplugs found in the whale's ears and count the layers to determine how old it was. While we know a fair amount about these giants of the sea, there are still some mysteries surrounding their life history. According to the best scientific knowledge available, blue whales are pregnant for roughly 10 to 12 months before giving birth. They probably start weaning their calves at about 6 to 7 months old, either on their way to or during their summer feeding grounds. These whales typically become sexually mature between 5 to 15 years of age. Most of their reproductive activities, like giving birth and mating, happen during the winter season. On average, they likely have a new calf every 2 to 3 years. Blue whales face dangers from collisions with vessels, which can harm or even kill them. These vessel strikes have been responsible for the deaths of blue whales across their habitat range. However, the risk is significantly higher in certain coastal regions that have heavy vessel traffic, such as ports and busy shipping lanes. Larger vessels and those traveling at high speeds pose an even greater threat. Another peril blue whales encounter is becoming entangled in fishing gear. This can happen in various ways, with the gear either attaching to them as they swim or causing them to become anchored. There are various types of fishing gear that can entangle blue whales, including traps, pots, and nets. Once ensnared, these massive creatures may drag the gear along for long distances, which can result in exhaustion, impaired feeding abilities, or severe injuries. These consequences can lead to reduced reproductive success and, in some cases, death. Beyond these known threats, there are other potential dangers to blue whales that are not yet fully understood. These include issues like ocean noise, habitat degradation, pollution, disturbances from vessels, and the impacts of climate change. All of these factors could have negative effects on blue whale populations, although more research is needed to fully comprehend their extent.